Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. If you are a subscriber, I really appreciate you always. Taping this early Wednesday morning using a little Florida water and some essential oils to cleanse my deck and myself. Many of you often ask when you see me do that. In case you are just landing on the channel, you're not familiar with me, I'm a Fefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. And I do mostly political readings. I do some new moon and full moon readings as well. Today, a couple of things Spirit has led me to check in on and go to the cards, get some deeper insights on with you all. We're all hearing so much now around Iran and the protesters in Iran. And, we've got Trump, I'll call him that. We've got Trump coming out and saying, well, we may just have to do something about this on behalf of the people, on behalf of the protesters. Clearly a horrific situation. Lots, as we know, being said around that regarding what's happening right here in America, certainly in Minnesota, Minneapolis. So, people are like, wait a minute, that's not even sounding right. Like you want to go be a, heroic and save the people in Iran, the protesters there, when you've got all this going on right here. So there's some deeper things there. We know that things are never as they appear on the surface. And here's what I got. And I wanna go to Spirit on. When you look at the timing of this, if I'm not mistaken, and I know you all will correct me, right? If I'm not mistaken, a lot of the boost in the protests in Iran happened right around Christmas, right? Right around the 25th of December. Who came to pay Trump a visit on December 29th? None other than Netanyahu, right? Now, we know what happened back in June when there was this temporary, I think it was like a 12-day war between Israel and Iran, and that so-called, the hits on the nuclear sites in Iran that I still don't know if we ever got to the bottom of which sites were really hurt and how much and what, how impactful that strike really was launched by the US. We never really got all the details on that. But here's where I'm asking, is that the real onus behind this? We know it is not about Front caring about the welfare and protecting the Iranian people. Spirit, is this this plan that Trump is floating around military intervention in Iran? Is it because he struck a deal with Bibi? Did they discuss that, and did they hatch this plan while Bibi was here? I have the Tower, Mars coming in, the basically going in and breaking things and disabling, because this has been Bibi's objective all along, disabling Iran's nuclear capabilities. That again was what the June strikes were about, that are still questionable. But their ballistic missile systems, that's Bibi's objective. So that was a part of their talks. And the Wheel of Fortune. How do we gather, but how do we make this happen without necessarily making it look like that's what we're doing? And what's interesting is we know that very often the Wheel of Fortune is a card of destiny, it's a card of fate, but it is also a very karmic energy ruled by Jupiter. So the growth in opportunities or decisions to dismantle Iran's nuclear capabilities. That's the objective. That's what the two of them talked about. And Bibi said, I'm going to need your help once again. I know we did what we did in June. We, being the operative word. I know what happened in June, but now here we are again. We have these protests. Here's an opportune time to go back in and get some things done. Spirit, please confirm. One more card. I'm feeling like I need to pull on that. The King of Wands. That's the conversations that were had, and I also feel like this is pulling in Hegs, and I'm going to get to him in a moment. So yes, I feel like this is a confirmation. A lot of what we're hearing and why all of a sudden this is, a couple of weeks later after Netanyahu came here, and the moon done in secret. The conversations and the agreement that they made Bibi said, listen, I'm going to need another favor. I'm going to need you to do me another solid. We're going to need you to go back in. And now's an opportune time to do that while the country is in disarray because of the protests. So that was a part of the plan. It has, I won't say it has nothing to do with the people. It should have something to do with the people, certainly, who are suffering. And we understand what's happening under the Iranian regime. But that's the onus behind what we're hearing. It's nothing to do with we will come save you. We don't like what we see this regime doing to you, so the U.S. is going to come get involved. No, this is Bibi behind the scenes saying this is our time to go back in and take up what was being done in June while the country is in disarray. Now, will Congress, who's already put Trump on notice regarding, future actions in Venezuela? We're keeping our eyes on that. Spirit, will Congress intervene? Will they be able to successfully intervene and stop Trump from executing plans in Iran? King of Swords. Sometimes I see that in a lower vibration because he's a Gemini. Sometimes I do see that as Trump. Will Congress be able to stop? Nine of Pentacles, they're going to certainly try to. Nine of Pentacles talking about the costs of waging a military campaign and operation and also lives I'm seeing there in the Nine of Pentacles. Lives lost, the potential for lives being lost. What happened in Venezuela? There were many reports that said it was like nothing short of a minor miracle that while helicopters, I think a couple of them were taken down and a couple of people were hurt. U.S. forces were hurt, but there were no casualties, no fatalities. But that's a concern here as well. It won't go so well. It won't go like that again. At some point, where's that wheel of fortune? At some point, the luck by the U.S. military runs out. Ace of Swords. If you hang out with me here on the channel, when I'm vibing with spirit and I get an ace, that's my spirit guide's way of saying I'm on track. What I'm channeling, what I'm getting is on track, and it comes in swords. So that's the decisions, the clarity, the military operation. I think Congress is going to find a way, you all, to try and stop him. But here's the Hangman saying there's the potential. Is there the potential? Will Trump, as he did in Venezuela, will he just issue the orders, bypass Congress, and tell the military, issue the orders to do what he says anyway? There's the Knight of Swords, so he's gonna promote that. He's already laying down the foundation for that. Remember, if I tell you go, it's go. Don't worry about Congress. We'll deal with that on the back end. And death. Yikes. Is that a hang up? Is that he may issue the order, but somehow it'll get stopped? Perhaps through Congress? Four of Swords. Hold on. Let's get clear about this. Is this somebody in Trump's cabinet telling him, hold off a minute? Hold off. The Moon Child. I think so. I think there's someone. So that Knight of Swords is saying, from Trump's perspective, in his mind, you do what I tell you to do. Don't worry about Congress. We'll deal with Congress later. But there's something behind the scenes there. This Moon Child, and we did get the moon earlier as well. There's something happening behind the scenes where somebody's telling him, you need to slow your roll a little bit on this one. That's the Hangman as well. Spirit, will there be U.S. intervention in Iran? One way or another, will there be U.S. intervention in Iran? Will we go in? There's the Queen of Cups. The King of Pentacles. I feel like that's Hegs. I get that a lot for him. And the Four of Cups. There's a lot of resistance to this, and I'll tell you, with the Four of Cups, this is also from the end of the back end or the inner circle of military leadership is what I'm seeing. Because remember, going back to June, the cleanup that they had to do between the different reports that were coming out. Oh yeah, we completely wiped out those nuclear sites, and then the back end of the report started coming through. Well, not quite, not and then we had the I can't remember who the military leader was, but who had to come up and basically face the music and take the fall and say, well, yeah, there was some confusion behind that. That's that Four of Cups energy. There is a resistance within the ranks, even within the leadership of the military ranks, to have to carry something like this out. So I think there's going to be a delay. And the Three of Cups, I think there's going to be a delay, at least in the immediate future, to do this. And should Trump try to go ahead and bypass Congress and execute those orders, I think there's immediate resistance to that. So let's see. I certainly hope that is the case. But also just connecting those dots for you all. Spirit wanted you to know that this, nobody believes that it's truly on behalf of there's some desire on Trump's part to protect and help the Iranian people. Look at what is happening right here in America. Like, it doesn't even two plus two does not equal 6, right? But there was a plan to do it. And this was Bibi, and this is going to be Bibi continuing with that moon energy we saw, continuing to get on the horn. And hey, didn't we agree that now's the time? But I'm not so sure that it's going to go the way that he thinks. Now, talking about the military still, lo and behold, and Hegseth, lo and behold, many of you probably heard already that Hegseth on Monday, I'm taping this Wednesday morning, on Monday, Hegseth was at with Elon Musk at Starbase in Texas, and made this big grand speech and announcement about utilizing Grok for AI in the military. And Hegseth has issued the orders that the military and the Pentagon is now supposed to allow AI to come in and access its data, and that it will be relying on AI, on Grok, for some of its military capabilities, and a lot of its military capabilities, in fact, given Grok's proclivity for far-right interpretations. Remembering as well that the UK just recently, I think last week I was seeing, UK was talking about a ban on Grok because of these deep fake images. You all have heard about that. I got to be careful in what I say on the channel, but some pretty explicit images that were deep fakes that were going around, generated by AI, by Grok. And so Musk has been under fire with the UK to try and prevent them from implementing a ban, but he has been warned. That same system now being given carte blanche in the US military. I'm asking, is there going to be a data breach? Really? Ooh. Cards ready. Is there going to be a data breach, Spirit, because of this decision to give Elon Musk's AI platform carte blanche in the Pentagon? Is this going to result in a data breach within our military? Is this going to be a regrettable turn of events for the military, for the U.S., for the Pentagon, using Grok? Is this going to be a thing? The Chariot. Whew. So they're going to go ahead with it full steam ahead. King of Swords. I'm feeling like that's Musk, because why not? I mean, more money, more access, more control. That's really interesting. And Spirit just reminded me too, going into, because we know that Musk was just recently at the White House, sitting down to dinner with Trump. They're, making friends again, making nice, going into this election year. The military going into cities as we see this happening in Minneapolis, etc. All the places, all the things that and so giving this data to the military, there's a double involvement here. It's not just military capabilities, but it's also tied to the elections and the use of ICE or other military, and I got an ace of wands. Spirit is like, yeah, that's part of the deal. So that's what's in it for Musk. Musk is like, all right, I'm gonna come help you all out with the midterm elections. I'm gonna help you out with any of your other military endeavors. Just give me more control. Give me access. Is this gonna backfire, Spirit? What is the result of Musk's AI program, Grok, having access to the Pentagon data? What is the result of that? The star, the people, um, far reaching consequences. Because that's big, that's universal. And the sun, life. Is that putting lives at risk? And the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. Wow. This is literally like not good. This is not good. Not to, not to pile on to anything else that's worrying or concerning at this time. But I'm also getting, Spirit is like, wait, back it up, Afefe. I'm also getting, with the Five of Pentacles, sometimes what you want or what you thought was going to achieve certain results, in a Five of Pentacles energy, those results are not reached. And it can be a very isolating energy. Spirit, will this attempt ultimately fail? Will this attempt fail? The Four of Pentacles, it's not going to achieve what they want, that's for sure. Four of Pentacles is a tight energy. And the Five of Cups, disappointment in its capabilities. And the Nine of Pentacles, disappointment in its capabilities. Phew, I'm glad to see that. So Hegs is like, okay, let's just go all in. No diversity, none of this. We want, he was making Star Trek references in, with SpaceX. He was just all over Elon. Hegseth was all over Elon, and it was a thing. But I think what we're getting in this Nine of Pentacles, y'all, along with that Four of Pentacles and that Five of Cups, disappointment, the capabilities of Grok, which has already been, as we said, under question for many things, disinformation, misinformation, the way it has been programmed. And that's what AI does. It spits out based on what it takes in, that there are not, the capabilities of it are not up to par to really be able to assist the military in the way that Musk is promising. So the design of it for purposes of the Pentagon are deficient, is what I'm getting in that Five of Cups energy. And the Nine of Pentacles, again, cost wise, because Musk isn't going to do anything without the reaping the rewards for him. So how much of that, what is it, $900 billion or more military budget is he going to get to give this licensing? We didn't hear about that. Hegseth didn't talk about that while he was in Texas, right? And the Page of Wands. Yeah, that, I think it's a wish and a hope, and this dangling the carrot, both sides dangling the carrot. Musk dangling the carrot, saying, well, I helped you in the last election, bring me in, let me make more money with your military, etc., and I'll do more. That's that Page of Wands energy, hatching all of these plans. But at the end of the day, what is the ultimate result, Spirit? Will this actually blow back on Hegseth? Three of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Bad choices. Six of Swords. How do we move forward without him, without his help? And Temperance. And I'm also getting a timing element here. Three of Cups feels like maybe 3 months from now. Between 3 and 6 months from now, Six of Swords and that Three of Cups. Between 3 and 6 months from now, as they flush this out, because again, this is something that Hegseth just announced Monday when he was in Texas. it's they start to realize Grok is not hitting it. And I think again that's where military leadership, those who are getting this data and using Grok to operate within the Pentagon, they're going to realize this is not even making sense. This is not giving us clear data and information that's helpful to the military. And the Five of Wands. And so there then comes the conflict. It ain't working. It ain't working the way it was told, we were told it would work. So ultimately, Eight of Pentacles, it's not working. The mastery that we were promised. This is a card of mastery, knowing what the heck you're doing, achieving the aim that you said it was designed to achieve. It doesn't do it. And there's the Nine of Cups. So the desire then will be to end it or to expose that. The Three of Wands. There's going to be growing momentum, and the High Priestess. There will be growing momentum within the ranks of the Pentagon itself. And we know, don't let the press in. There's this, really strict thing about what's allowed to come out because of embarrassment that has already happened. So there's going to be more of that. But there's this resistance with the High Priestess. There's this dawning of, this is completely inept, or what it is giving us and furnishing to us in having access to our data systems, to military data, is not designed to heighten our capabilities. It ain't up to the task, bottom line. All right. And the last thing I wanted to ask about is Bondi. So we're hearing more and more that Bondi is on the chopping block, or about to be on the chopping block. That he is, Trump is, mumbling and grumbling about, this, that, and the other thing that she's not doing. Whereas in the past, even when she's come under fire, he's been very protective of her. Who else was going to do whatever he wanted, he wants done? But this is, with Epstein, it will not go away. We know that. Spirit has said this is not going to go away. And even though it's not directly Epstein related, Jack Smith, we know, is going to testify publicly on, I think it's scheduled for June 22nd. I'm getting you all, there's something in the timing of that. When Jack Smith testifies publicly, we know that they slipped in his private deposition testimony on New Year's Eve when everybody's, otherwise occupied. It's still, a lot of people looked at it and we heard a lot about what was contained in it and saw some clips of Jack Smith. But now, 22nd of January, he actually is going to offer public testimony. There is something about that. I feel like it's going to, I'm going to go to Spirit. Spirit, how will Jack Smith's testimony on the 22nd impact Trump? How will he respond to that? The Eight of Pentacles, recognizing he knows that Jack Smith is so tight and he had the goods, and he's going to talk about how he had the goods now for again, even though he did it privately already, he's coming again with the goods. That's how I see this Eight of Pentacles. The content of what he talks about, of what Jack Smith talks about. So, and here he comes, the Hierophant. This is him speaking to government, Jack Smith speaking to government, but also this feels like a higher energy starting to come in here, you all, where Congress itself is recognizing Seven of Pentacles. We got to assess this. There is room for this. This testimony by Jack Smith, you all, is not just going to, okay, been there, did that, and go away. This is building a case to impeach him. Again, remembering that when we're going to count, we're going to believe in it, when Congress is flipped in at the end of this year, if not sooner, impeachment is on the table. And the Three of Wands, the growing momentum toward impeachment. So again, this is where he gets angry. That's what I'm sensing. He gets angry at Bondi because she's unable to stop any of this, and this renews calls temperance. This renews calls for for the Epstein file release, which we know she's that close to contempt of Congress, right? I think there've already been calls for her contempt, but there's something about Page of Cups, this renewed desire to do something, because the public is going to go ballistic again when they hear the Nine of Cups, what we want, what the public wants and desires as a result of Jack Smith's testimony, recognizing again and their strength. Woo! So when Jack Smith testifies, you all, it's gonna light another fire under the US, under the people of this country, to say we need accountability. This is absolutely, Smith's not backing down. We started out with that Eight of Pentacles. He had it all there to continue to go forward with his case very convincingly. He said this was not about using operatives on the left. This was about using and employing the testimony of Trump's own allies to build that case and to execute that case. So now we've got that Nine of Cups. The people are going to want accountability, and it will be a mounting sentiment like, that's it. He's got to go. We've got enough and that is also within the establishment itself. Where's our Hierophant? So it's not just the people and the will of the people, but this is also within Congress, within the ranks of Congress, even the GOP, to say, look, it is what it is. We gotta do something about this. That in turn leads to his anger, building anger against Bondi, because remember, he told Bondi at one point, go after Smith. We need to get rid of Smith. And there's the chariot. Is that Bondi being let go around the time that Smith offers his testimony publicly? The Nine of Swords, she's freaked out. Trump is freaked out. The King of Wands, Smith. I think that's Smith. And the Hangman. And they call it the Dark Veil. Oh, the Tower. Ooh, okay. So it's just a matter of time. It won't happen instantaneously, is I think what Spirit is saying here, you all. Like Jack Smith isn't going to give his testimony on the 22nd and then the 23rd, Bondi's gone. But the reconsideration of what do we do with her, because the walls start to close in tighter and tighter and tighter. The calls within Congress as well as the public for some sort of accountability with Trump. I mean, at what point does the luck run out, right? And there's the Tower, the beginning of the end, right? Or another beginning of the end. We've been seeing consistent signs of that in general. We know that it's coming. We know that even astrologically it's coming. But that's what's happening. There is some tie, and I hope I've been able to express that adequately, but there is a tie between the timing of Jack Smith's public testimony and the constant stalling of the release of the Epstein files and Trump's mounting anger, because it's going from frustration to anger at Bondi for not being effective in the way he sees it. All of this should have been eliminated. We shouldn't even be here right now. So her days are truly numbered. How she's replaced, we'll deal with that on another day. Enough drama and trauma for one day. All right, you all, I hope that was helpful. I really appreciate you being here. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Please hype, if you will. Check out the description box below for my Practical Magic Using Tarot course. Part 2 is coming up in February. If you missed it, you can still get the recording of Part 1. You don't have to take Part 1 to come in on Part 2. I designed them independently that way in the series. But this is, talking about using our tools, adjusting our minds, staying strong, feeling like we have and we are empowered to deal. Clearly we're all here during this period of time. Our souls decided to be here. There's a reason for that. So we can withstand. And part of what I'm doing in these workshops is just hopefully, and I've been getting some great feedback from the first one, is, really getting into our identity and our ability to impact energy, starting with ourselves, and then as within, so without, right? That's a key and primary focus of the class. Would love to have you there. Again, details on my website, trulytouchedbytarot.com. You can look under the book online, and you'll look for practical magic using tarot. It'll tell you all about it, give you a description of it. I'd love to have you there. It'll be on Sunday, February 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern, but again, you'll get all those details. Meanwhile, sky above us, earth beneath us. We're solid. Spirit is over us, and certainly the soul within us. Stay focused right there. Sky above you, earth beneath you, soul within you. I hope that helps. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.